ever faced a challenge that seemed hopeless, yet you think that you have the power to change your life for the better no matter the obstacles you face? Well, if so, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Alethea Felton, and welcome to the Power Transformation Podcast, where we explore the incredible true stories of people who have overcome adversity and created meaningful lives. So, prepare to be inspired, equipped, and empowered, for the time is now to create your power transformation. Hey, y'all! Welcome back to another episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. And if you are new to this podcast, I welcome you with open arms. I am so excited that you are a part of the Power Transformation Podcast community. And if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and follow or subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, write a review so that more people can learn about this podcast. It's not for my glory, but it's rather so that people's lives can be transformed. And if you have been with me from the beginning of this podcast, I thank you. From its inception, from its earlier episodes, I am so grateful for you. I want this podcast to rank in the top 1% of all podcasts globally. That's a lofty goal, but y'all, we were at the top 10% for a while. Then I shared with you that this podcast is in the top 5%. And my next goal is to have it in the top 2.5%, then the top 1%. I want the Power Transformation Podcast to be a household name, to be a positive name, to be a light in all parts of the world. And you all are the key to making that happen. Is that I think that this world needs more examples of people who are just doing some remarkable things with the lives they've been given. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're not so rich, or even if you're poor, if you're famous, if you're not, it doesn't matter, because we are human beings living this experience together. And our guest today, oh my goodness, is he such a powerful example of this. I am so excited to have him on the Power Transformation Podcast. And we're going to jump right into his interview. But what I'd like to do first is I always start off with a positive affirmation. Why do I do affirmations? Because the more you say affirmations, the more they become a reality, the more that you believe them, and things happen in your life that are just so inexplicably miraculous that they blow your mind. I am a witness to this. I have seen it happen with my own eyes. So I'm going to say this affirmation once, and then you repeat it. I continue to climb higher, for there are no limits to what I achieve. I am so happy today to have Nelson Nigel joining us today. Oh my goodness, this interview is going to be the greatest because he is so experienced with what he does, but his story behind it is so empowering and so transformative that the world needs to hear it. And I'm going to let him tell us exactly who he is, but he is a CEO, executive, entrepreneur, all of that. I will have him to share his actual company. But first of all, I just want to welcome you, Nelson, to the Power Transformation Podcast.
Thank you for having me, Alethea. And I'm ecstatic to be here with you. Power transformation.
That's
Forget
right.
about it.
You know it. You know it. So let's just start off with a nice icebreaker question so that we can get to know you better. But this is the question for you. I'm curious, Nelson, what was one of your favorite childhood television shows or cartoons that you used to watch as a kid? And why did you like it?
One of my favorites. I had too many. Unfortunately,
Okay.
fortunately, Uh, I don't. You said cartoons?
Yeah, it could
I
be a
don't know.
cartoon.
Uh, uh, the chicken hawk and I don't know. That's always been my favorite. And the longhorn.
Really? Okay. Okay. So
You
so
know.
for so for example, when I grew up, Saturday morning cartoons were everything. You would watch Saturday morning cartoons or just any random cartoon. And I like everything from Captain Planet to Smurfs to just everybody. So I'm just curious, is there any childhood cartoon, action figure, hero, anybody that resonated with you as a kid?
Uh, Michelangelo. I was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You
Yeah. So I
did.
was saying, yeah.
Okay. And what was it about the mutant Ninja Turtles that really was like, yeah, they're cool? What was it about them you liked?
Uh, they were just cool. They were just cool. I
They
don't
were
know. They were
cool.
just cool. Yeah, it was
Okay.
cool.
Okay. So ironically, my boyfriend likes them too. And so, what yeah. So that's a wild answer that you gave. He loved Ninja Turtles. So, see, okay.
Yeah.
So, this is the next question for you, Nelson. Now that we've gotten to know you a little bit, but with those Ninja Turtles, those were action heroes and they saved the day. And honestly, I'm seeing some comparisons even with you and what you do and saving the day and making people's lives better, just as those Ninja Turtles did. So, although you might not have been exactly sure why you like them, I definitely see a connection because they were heroes that helped make people's lives better. So, therefore, Nelson, share with us exactly who you are, what you do, and how your business makes people's lives better.
Good question. My name is Nelson Nigel. I'm the founder of Kidmoto Technologies, which is now Moto Nation. Kidmoto connects, it's a mobile app, connects passengers seeking child car seats, pre-installed child car seats, to providers on the ground that actually provide pre-installed child car seats and only for airport transportation and cruise. So think about, being a parent and it's hard and cumbersome to lug around a child car seat. So we are the company that facilitates, you know, ditch the car seats when flying with a baby because no one really wants to go on vacation, lug around car seats and
Mhm.
when they get there, forget about it. They don't need it. So
Yeah.
that's Kid Moto, and Moto Nation now is our new venture. It's we are creating more mobile apps for underserved segments of the population, sort of like parents with children that where there's never been a provider out there.
Mhm.
And now we want to move into the cruise industry, into the aviation industry, providing for the elderly, for
Mhm.
and even like miscellaneous logistics, which is there isn't a national provider, but we have it and we can do it.
So, this is a very interesting concept. And so, I never considered the fact that it would be something convenient for parents to have because you're right. When you're traveling, getting off of planes, you don't want to lug around a lot of things with your kids. Yes, you want your kids with you, but you don't want to have to lug around a means of transportation, car seats, all of this and that. So, my question is, how in the world do you come up with a concept like that? What's the backstory behind it? How did you say, hey, this is a need and I'm going to make this happen?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good question. I I was a yellow taxi driver in New York City, and I learned so much. I saw so much, and forget about it. It was like my favorite job ever up to now, right? And I was an Uber driver, and I saw that drivers would not pick up parents that had car seats or that had children.
Mhm.
Same with the black car industry. I like did not know about rear facing child car seats or front facing or booster seats when I was driving Uber, and I saw that niche in the market, the need, and I said, wait, what if we created a mobile app and did something like this? Now, back then, now everybody wants to create a mobile app. They just don't realize if you make your bed, you have to sleep in it, right?
Hmm.
And they think that, oh, I can create a mobile app and it's going to be super successful. Oh, forget about it. If that's not how it works. But I did have prior business experience, and because of that, having a drive and the experience, I just took it on, and now we're 52 cities.
Hmm. Did you find that your passengers, when you were driving Uber, and I'm sure that was exciting because you meet a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people being a cab driver, Uber driver, and New York City at that. Did you find it as a stressful area for parents? And so you said, I want to help them. Was it a specific incident that happened where it connected with you, or were you just talking amongst other people or just daydreaming? When did that aha eureka moment come for you where you said, I'm going to actually do this?
That eureka moment was when I lost the contract. So I was also involved in public procurement, and
Oh.
I had my side businesses, right? Well, actually, prior to Kidmoto, I had other businesses, right? So not really side businesses.
Mm.
So I lost the contract, and I said, you know what? Let me do this. So there wasn't a eureka moment in terms of, oh, let's do child car seats.
Hmm.
I've always noticed that need in the market. It's something that I had in my back pocket, and I say, you know what? Let me do that because
Okay.
the other venture did not work out.
Hmm. Okay. And so I want to come back to this journey of you being a yellow cab driver, Uber driver, all the way to a tech entrepreneur. But let's go back a little bit farther. And there's a part of your story that is quite incredible and transformative. The entire story is. But Nelson, you mentioned you were a driver in New York City. So let us know, is that where you're from? And then also, something happened to you when you were growing up directly in New York City, where frankly, a lot of people don't survive. So take us on that journey as to what happened to you.
Okay, so I was born in Guyana, South America, and we immigrated to Queens, New York. And when I was about 13, I was hit by a train, an express train in Queens, and boy, oh boy, that was rough on my family. I was in a coma for about 3 weeks, and it was rough. It was rough.
Hold
It
on.
was rough.
Wait a minute. Y'all, he is saying this so casually, like, yeah, I caught a cold. This man just said he got hit by a train, an express train. Nelson, this is so incredible. Were you standing too close to the platform? Did you slip and fall? What in the world? How do you get hit by an express train?
Uh, I don't remember, but I was not.
Wow.
It did not roll over me, so I had to stick my head out at some point, or I was pushed or something. But
Yeah.
uh, uh, I did fall back onto the platform,
Mm.
but uh, yeah, it was I didn't really think about it for a long time.
Is it something where you look back on it now, although you were young, but still at 13, there you remember things from the age of 13. How did that accident change your life? Or did it cause you to view things differently? Or did you not think of a lot of things? Looking at it where you are now and then, how has that accident shaped who you are today?
all I can say is that I maybe I had it in me, but I don't give up. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I live to be myself. So I don't know if that's part of the accident, but um, I can't give up, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't use excuses. It that might be an excuse for many people. It's never been an excuse in my mind until, and it still isn't an excuse as to anything. It's just an experience.
So it sounds that at that young age, well, first of all, even prior to that, coming from another country, moving into a totally different country, a big city, a new lifestyle, culture, and everything, that's one shift where you had to almost morph into a new version of yourself. Then to have this accident where yet again you are changing into another version of yourself. When you were in that 3 week coma, once you came out of it, how did you have to get back to full health? Were you just able to be discharged from the hospital and head straight home? Did you have rehab? Tell us about that, how you got back your strength after such a serious accident, and the fact that with your mental cognition, that really could have caused a serious traumatic brain injury that really could have halted a lot in your life. So, during that time as a teenager, preteen, how did you build resilience during that time?
I'll tell you what. I can't remember before that or
Okay.
much after that, right?
Mm,
But I was in the hospital for a while, rehabbing, trying to remember because I couldn't remember before that. And going back to school, had to start back slow, uh, taking slow classes, right?
mm.
And but I did manage to graduate, I think, on time, right? And yeah, on time. And um, uh, afterward, it's all it's I don't know, it's just something that never really I just put on the side and I never really think about it because I'm just moving forward.
So when when you say slow classes, and I'm a former educator, as I shared with you, you mean that you had some learning differences where you had to be placed in some classes to give you extra support to have gotten you to where you are. So almost like special education programming, correct? So I just correct that because I too had what's called an IEP. I had some learning challenges in school, and I still graduated with honors, and I came out wonderfully. So those of us who have had certain learning differences, I view them as not necessarily disabilities, but they're really our superpowers and really the
Yeah,
awesome sauce for what we need to be who we are today. So I'm glad you actually brought it up, but I just want to, especially for our listeners that may have experienced that themselves in terms of having some learning challenges or learning differences, or even if they have children or grandchildren or just know people like that. I always try to say those can really empower us if we don't use them as a crutch. And obviously, Nelson, you chose to take everything that was thrown in your life and really transform it into something for your good, which leads me to this whole perspective of you going from yellow cab driver, Uber driver to this tech entrepreneur, and how instead of you shrinking yourself back, you chose to stand totally in the front line to say, no, I'm going to lead. So, share with us what are some of the biggest lessons, let's say two of the biggest lessons you learned on your leadership journey, and how you still apply those lessons to your life today.
one of my uh, I guess uh, slogans is the path to greatness is along with others.
Mhm.
That's number one. It's always
Mm.
teamwork. That's Balthasar, right? The path to
Mhm.
greatness is along with others. Uh, that's very important. And and secondly, you cannot quit.
Cannot quit. Okay. So elaborate on that. What causes you to not quit?
Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quitting. I'm not kidding. um, but many people make their bed, but they don't want to sleep in it, right?
Okay.
You can't just choose something and say, hey, I'm going to go do this, and then all of a sudden you fall down and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that again,
Mm-hmm.
right? Think about it like this, Lithium, right? Babies are born every day. Babies fall down. Babies creep, they crawl, they stand up, then they start walking, right? Babies just don't start walking overnight, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many times do they try to stand up?
Plenty of
Thousands.
times. Yeah.
How many times do they fall down?
Plenty.
Thousands. But a grown man starts a business and fails once, and that's all. That's it.
Mm.
He's gonna tell his kids never, tell everybody never, never do it again. Is that practical?
Definitely not.
But that's what
Definitely not.
happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, so that's just if babies can keep trying and standing up, why can't like grown adults when they're starting something or when they're starting a business and let's just say businesses, if they fail once or twice, why do they give up?
Mm-hmm. That is something to think about. And when I think of leadership specifically, and this question transitions into that is when you have these slogans and these mottos or just your philosophy of leadership, how does that translate with your team? In other words, how do you empower your employees and your team members? How do you empower them to keep the mission and vision alive at what you set out to do for your company? And what is that team spirit almost like in your company? What's your leadership style?
I'm not a micromanager. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's one. uh Always keep it simple, sweet. Don't overthink it. Many people really overthink things,
Okay.
and yeah, yeah, and it's no good. It's just wasting time.
Hmm.
Wasting time. Yeah.
So, with you being this global entrepreneur, walk us through, and I'm sure every day is different, but do you have any type of morning routines that you do personally to kind of get your mindset in place for your day? And if so, take us through what that looks like, your morning routines.
Actually, I don't think I have any. I just walk down the street, grab a cup of coffee, come back, uh, uh, checking my emails on the
Hmm.
phone, and just and then I'll just get to work. Um, uh, just focused, just focused.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in terms of your business mindset, how does your concept of not kind of like staying on the floor when you're not down, what is your how do you keep that mindset going of being driven and being refused to be limited by challenges? Is it something that you saw in your upbringing where you saw that, okay, you came here at a young age, your family came? Is that where it sparked from? Is that you just keep going and you don't let challenges limit you? Where was the conception of that?
I was like an athlete, right?
Oh.
So athletics is everything in my life,
Mhm.
and I haven't done much in years, but um, uh, yeah, it's you know, at one point I wanted to go to the Olympics, like let's like seriously. And when you're training on that level, And to get to that level,
Mhm.
it's a mindset. It's you've heard this. 99% is in the mind, and 1% is physical, and
Mhm.
that's 100% true. 100% true. It's all up here.
And what was your sport, if I may ask, since you were into athletics? What
Boxing,
was your sport?
boxing.
Boxing. Oh wow. Okay. So you literally rolled with the punches and you made sure that hey, I'm going to bounce back every time. So wow. Now that type of sport I can definitely see the correlation even with your entrepreneurial journey. Um in terms of the concept of boxing. See, now I know why Ninja Turtles was your favorite cartoon because you have all of these comparisons here and you acting like you don't know. And I see it just as clear and plain as day as to how everything does align within your life. And so when I think about the concept of boxing, and I don't know all the technical terms, but I do like watching the sport. But in terms of thinking about boxing and you as that leader of your company and showing people how to lead and follow by example, it definitely does show your personal commitment to your vision, but also the people who make it possible. So, your work ethic, Nelson, how do you inspire your team members to even pursue their dreams? What do you do to just keep them to be resilient as well?
That's a very good question, and I don't I can't really answer that question in terms
Hmm.
of how do I help them pursue their dreams. First, people have to come to a point where that they can realize that hey, I have a dream,
Hmm.
right? Um, and very few people can figure out that they have a dream.
Hmm.
Think about you, like hello, did you ever like so I find that very many people don't have dreams.
Interesting.
And
Huh. Interesting. Because
okay,
because I now it goes to show our experiences vary because I find the opposite. I find more people who do have dreams, but maybe it's because I'm a dreamer too. So I almost in a way seek it out of people.
mhm.
Maybe. That's why interesting though. But yeah, I think it's based on our experiences. So say if a person comes to you and they really don't have a dream that has been pulled out of them, what do you do in the culture of your environment to almost keep people energized and going for the work at hand?
Well, now you have to motivate others around you.
Hmm.
You have to empower them and show them that it is possible. So slowly and gradually, they'll work themselves up, and then they can say, okay, well, you know what? I think that I can do this.
Hmm. Hmm.
But but dreaming of going to the moon is not that's a dream. Now bringing it to action to get there is a different story.
Hmm. Now at
So
the yeah. Yeah.
does that make sense? Yeah, everyone could dream of like, yeah, I can have you know whatever, right? I could walk on water. I don't know,
Well,
right?
I always say, when it comes to our viewpoints on things, it doesn't necessarily have to make sense to me or to anyone else. As long as it makes sense to the person who says it and they're confident with it, then hey, that's really what matters because we have to make sure that what we're saying makes sense to us so that then it can resonate throughout what we say, who we are, how we hold ourselves, the example that we lead. So that actually transitions into this, kind of backtracking a little bit. Kidmoto, when you started it, and I'm sure it wasn't necessarily a quick, easy process, but what was that like starting your company for Kidmoto? What were a couple of the victories and what were some challenges in that you really had to overcome in getting it to where it is now as this really huge multi-million dollar industry? How did you get there?
It back then it was super hard,
Mhm.
and when you're starting out in any business, it's always going to be very, very hard to many people. I had a background. I was an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur, and so that kind of gave me the leverage and in order to build out a national, company instead of just a local company. But I had that vision and I stuck to it and I stuck to it. And there has been tons of challenges, tons. It's like every day there's a challenge, right? Uh, we're a bootstrap company, so we're not funded, right? Which is like insane, right?
Mhm.
So we've built out a national organization being bootstrapped, right? I started with probably about $600 to my name. Like literally, I, I could not, I was a driver myself. I could not afford three car seats.
Mm,
Three. I had to start with two. That's how hard it was. And I couldn't afford lunch many, many days. I could not afford my car payments. It was rough.
mm,
It's you just can't give up.
mhm.
You make your bed, you have to sleep in it. If you really you step into the plate, you have to swing.
When you say it was tough, this piques my curiosity. I'm big on support systems and people to really, even if they can't give something financially, just really encouraging me to keep going. But then again, there are a lot of people that don't have real support networks and support systems where they do a lot on their own through their own grit, will, determination, and networking. What was it like for you? Did you have a support system pouring into you? Who were some of those key people and how did they help you? Or was it the opposite where you really didn't have a lot of people encouraging you to keep going? And if not, how did you still choose to stay on that path?
I'll go with the latter, young lady.
Hmm.
So, uh, the busier I got, the less people I kept around me,
Hmm.
and the generally when you're speaking to folks, this and you have your dreams and you're working on things, people are trying to throw a spike at you, trying to bring you down, and get rid of dead weight, right? You want to unpack dead weight off your back, and all of that negative energy from friends and family, which is very common. Those things you have to get rid of. Chip off your back, chip it off, right? So now you have time to focus on what's most important. What's next, the next best step, and uh, so um, I didn't have a support system. I'm my support system.
Mm.
Just keep moving forward.
And did you have any mentors that kind of helped you along the way who were also entrepreneurs? And when I mean mentors, just some people that you could go to or a person who gave you some even firmer business advice. You don't have to name them, but was there anybody who you view even now as a mentor or somebody that you partner with or learn from even more within this world of entrepreneurship?
That's a very good question.
Hmm.
Very, very good question. And I did not have mentors, but I do surround myself with people that bring value to my life.
Hmm.
And it just so happens that I'm in an industry uh, filled with immigrants, and I I find so much value in these folks from from all over the world. Different eyes see different things, Alethea,
Hmm.
and that's one of my mottos. Different eyes see different things, and different people come from different backgrounds and different different parts of the world, and but everyone sees things differently. And whenever they're speaking about something, they're bringing value to my life because
Hmm.
I didn't see it from that perspective. Or this guy's from, Stan, Kazakhstan, or that person is from Kalamazoo, or that person is from La Paz, Bolivia. Everyone sees things differently, and there's value to that
Hmm.
because perspective is everything. Somebody can see a football game from the top, from the first row seating, from the third seating from TV. So perspective is a lot, and it's always good to hear different perspectives on different things.
Yeah. What do you say to, I don't even want to say what you say to them because it gets to, so the original question was going to be, what do you say to the haters? But I'm of the mindset that after a while, after you get to a certain place in life, you don't even worry about the haters because it's going to always be somebody who's going to say something. So I guess my question is, when you were growing up, was there anybody or group of people in your life? And again, you don't have to say specifically who, but was there anybody who ever said that you weren't going to amount to anything, that you couldn't do anything, that you weren't this and that? And my question is, how did that, in terms of the negativity that a person or people could have given you, how did you not let that thwart to your plans, but rather you chose to keep going?
I can't recall
Mm-hmm.
if anyone like that uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, saying things like that. I can't.
Oh, good. Okay.
Um,
Because
just kept
sometimes,
going.
yeah, because sometimes on these leadership journeys, it doesn't even have to be from your own family, but it could be a person who says you're not going to do this or that. I know I've had that in my life, not from my own family, but I have had specks of people here and there who have said I wasn't going to do X, Y, and Z, and I've done it, but I haven't done it for them. I've done it for me. And so sometimes on these journeys with the challenges also comes the naysayers or the haters or the people who don't want to see you achieve. And again, it hasn't been like that from my inner circle or my loved ones, but I've had specks of people throughout my life. So I was just curious as to if that ever happened to you. Now, Nelson,
Oh,
if yeah, go ahead.
let me respond to that one.
Sure,
There,
go
there,
ahead.
there, there was someone like that. Now, the person was not saying you can't do this, or you can't. Was not talking directly, but this is one of those people that they can only see yay so much, and
Mm,
when you're around that, it permeates to you, right? When you're around it, you don't see it as negative energy, but someone who's with limited views or
mhm,
limited dreams. So there was someone like that in my life that I grew up with, like one of my best friends, one of my family members. So
mhm.
um, eventually, I found out way later, of course, right? That that you know that he's the reason why I didn't make these different choices. Uh,
Oh,
so, but even though it's no someone saying that talking to you directly or this and that or telling you directly, what their actions permeate to you. So it's like okay, well, whatever they keep saying day in and day out,
mhm.
you know you start to feel it even though you don't feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand
Does
that.
that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes, that I do understand your perspective on that. And also this question, we have a few minutes left, but Say a parent is listening or somebody that wants to use your actual services. Walk us through the process of of what your company provides, but more so how a parent can go about getting it. So say that they're traveling, saying, "Wow, I love this concept. I've never used Kidmoto. How can I be a part of this?" Take us through that.
The Kidmoto app is available on Google Play, on
Mhm.
Apple iOS. It's free to use. A parent can use it, get picked up in 52 cities across America.
Okay.
So you can literally leave Detroit and get picked up in Palm Beach, or get picked up in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Mhm.
Uh, get taken to the hotel, and you don't have to carry car seats with you. And our drivers provide pre-installed child car seats, whether it's for a 5 pound infant or a 55 pound older a young child. Uh, or in a booster seat, our
Mhm.
drivers will provide those car seats, and it's pre-installed and pre-harnessed,
Mhm.
which is what wasn't heard before until I came into the scene. And now you know we're a national organization, and we're providing for consumers all over the globe coming to America. It's it's fantastic.
That is so
Solving the problem.
convenient.
Yeah.
It, and if I had children, I would use your service. I don't have them, but if I ever have kids, even now in my 40s, I would definitely use them for as much as I travel. So it's really a convenient
Yeah.
program and app and just service that you
Yeah.
can use. And I still have a couple more questions, but while we're on it, Nelson, how can people, I know that they have the app, but how could people learn more about you in terms of, are you on social media? And then also, does your company, and of course it does, but what is your company's website? If you could share that. And of course, I'll have it in the show notes, but just in case somebody doesn't look at the actual show notes, how can people connect with your company?
The company is Kidmoto, Kidmoto. It's kidmoto.taxi. Uh, you know, Viewers can contact me on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Twitter and LinkedIn are usually the best.
Okay,
And yeah,
perfect.
and and Moto Nation is coming, so that's super exciting because now we're going to bring new products for underserved communities in America, which
Mhm.
is which is right up my alley, right? We want to provide a solution for where there's need.
Yeah. And so those are really exciting things that are happening. I'm going to definitely put all of the links in the show notes. But just a couple of more questions as we wrap up things. Nelson, when you take a look at your entire life, this is a loaded question. You can answer it any way that you want to. But if I were to ask you, what are you passionate about in your life? How would you respond?
Wow. I'm passionate about people.
Mm,
Passion, yeah, people. I love to meet people, learn where they're from, who they are, their history,
mhm.
like that. Yeah, I do.
What
Uh,
has this entrepreneurial journey taught you most about yourself?
it's taught me that I'm a fighter.
Mm,
Right, I'm a fighter. No matter what, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you got to get back up.
you
You
better.
just gotta.
Yeah. Yeah.
you,
You better.
you you get back up. You get knocked down. Get back up. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and uh, that's the journey of life. How's that?
Hmm. And again, it's those parallels even from the boxing ring. to real life. You can't stay down if you're knocked out. You got to keep on going, or they just gonna walk all over you. So yeah, Nelson, when you're an old man in your 90s, hundreds, something like that, and then you make your transition into the supernatural, what do you want to be most remembered for here on Earth?
That's a good question. Uh, I love people.
Hey. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be deep, doesn't have to be anything, but you want to be remembered as a man who loved people. And I would dare add that you want to be remembered as someone who enhanced the lives of others, who came up with this concept to really think about the well-being of parents, their children, and their safety. And that speaks volumes, especially when you had an experience in your life through that subway accident that really
Yeah.
put your entire safety at risk. And for you to be so resilient and to bounce back and all these years later create a concept that's really about safety and convenience. So there are a lot of parallels. And I would even just challenge you. This is totally just from the far left, but I would just even challenge you to just be more aware and receptive of all of the connections in your life, because even from a question, I'm always intentional about the opening question. And sometimes the guests are like, huh? Why are you asking? It's a random question. But even from, like I said, your answer being Ninja Turtles as your favorite cartoon, they were some fighters, and they were heroes, and they were literally about helping the lives of others, and then from you boxing all the way up until now. So I just want to thank you, Nelson, for just being a guest today. And I encourage you to just keep fighting, staying in the ring, helping out people, knocking out barriers and obstacles, because what you do truly affects the lives of so many. And I hope and pray continued prosperity for your business, abundance for your life, constant connections. And yeah, this is definitely only the beginning and the tip of the iceberg of where you're going to go. It was an honor having you today. Thank you so much for joining the
Thank
Powertrain
you.
podcast.
Thank you, Alisa. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Y'all, I told you that Nelson was powerful, that his life story is absolutely, it could really be a made for TV movie or even on the big screen. Either way, maybe somebody from Netflix is listening or somebody from a big production company. Honestly, all of my guests, their lives could be movies. But I'm serious about this, is that Nelson is doing some wonderful, wonderful things out there. Please, 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 please patronize his business. We all know somebody with kids, even if we don't have them ourselves. We know somebody that has a child, and this is definitely worth it. So again, I thank Nelson for his time, and I invite you to tune in every Wednesday for a new episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. Share it, share it, share it. Again, we want this podcast to rank so high globally because it's for you all. And I'm not monetized right now. So I don't want you to think it's, oh, she's just trying to get rich. I'm not monetized yet. So I seriously just want this podcast to be a household name. I want people who have never heard podcasts to listen to the Power Transformation Podcast, because I'm telling you, people's lives are just remarkable. And who knows, you might be a guest on the Power Transformation Podcast as well. Let's go ahead and close out with our affirmation. I will say it once and you repeat it. I continue to climb higher, for there are no limits to what I achieve. If you enjoyed today's show, then you don't want to miss an episode. So follow the Power Transformation Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you usually listen, and remember to rate and review. I also invite you to connect with me on social media at Alethea Felton. That's at ALETHEAFELTON. Until next time, remember to be good to yourself and to others.